Hey, let me tell you something I've learned after helping hundreds of people plan their retirement. Most regrets don't show up on a spreadsheet. They show up years later when it's too late to fix them. So today I want to walk you through 5 retirement decisions you'll possibly regret in 10 years and how to avoid them. So let's jump in. Hey, look, we all have regrets in our life, but when it comes to retirement, that shouldn't be one of them. But there are some regrets about decisions that were made before or even in retirement that could mean the difference between really enjoying your retirement or possibly sabotaging your plan. So let's talk about that. One regret I see is taking Social Security too early. So picture this. You've been working for decades, then you turn 62, and all of a sudden that first Social Security check looks mighty tempting. I mean, you made it to 62 and you're eligible to collect. But here's what most people don't realize. By claiming early, you could lock in reduced benefits for the rest of your life, up to 30% less than if you would have waited until full retirement age. And if you're still working and don't need the income, it gets worse. Your benefits might be temporarily reduced due to the earnings limit. Look, you're not just losing income here. You're possibly missing out on a planning window to do some tax-efficient Roth conversions or adjust your investment strategy. Future you might really regret grabbing that check too soon. So instead, consider this. If possible, delay benefits to full retirement age or even 70 and use that gap to draw from taxable accounts or do some Roth conversions in a lower tax bracket. Now, look, I understand when to collect Social Security. That choice is highly personal. And I would suggest to run a Social Security optimization analysis to get a clearer picture of when to actually collect Social Security. This is something I do for my clients with every retirement plan I create. Oh, by the way, if we haven't met before, my name is Keith Wilson, and I am a financial advisor helping folks just like you avoid retirement mistakes. And you may want to subscribe to the channel as I post a lot of content on retirement planning. Hey, while you're at it, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. Okay, now moving on. Regret number 2 is underestimating healthcare costs. So most people assume Medicare covers everything, right? Spoiler alert, it doesn't. There are premiums, there are deductibles, there are co-pays, and there's always these surprise bills, not to mention dental and vision and long-term care, which are largely out of pocket. And here's the real kicker. The average 65-year-old couple retiring today is projected to spend over $300,000 on health care throughout their retirement. So if that's not in your plan, you might be in for a rude awakening later. And that usually means cutting back on lifestyle or leaning on adult kids for help, which nobody wants. So instead, consider this. Build health care into your retirement budget. Look into Medicare supplement plans or Medicare Advantage plans and start planning early for long-term care. Now, once you are on Medicare and coupled with a Medicare supplement, or maybe you went and got a Medicare Advantage plan, those out-of-pocket costs, they could be minimal, and it shouldn't be enough to bankrupt you, but long-term care expenses like nursing home care, assisted living, and in-home care could bankrupt you. So by having long-term care insurance, it can help minimize the risk. So start planning early for that possible risk, even if that just means having a strategy and not a policy. All right, risk number 3, having no withdrawal strategy. So think about this. You've spent years saving and investing, but when it's time to flip the switch and you have to start taking money out, that's when I see panic setting in. What account do you tap first? How much can you withdraw without running out? What about taxes? Look, without a coordinated withdrawal plan, I've seen people fall into 2 camps. They either spend too much and too fast and they run into trouble down the road. Or they hoard everything, afraid to touch money, and miss out on the very retirement they dreamed of. Neither option feels good. So instead, consider this, a real withdrawal strategy tailored to your lifestyle and tax picture. Look, that makes all the difference in the world. So use a coordinated withdrawal plan, maybe having a mix of taxable, tax-deferred, and Roth accounts that supports your lifestyle goals while keeping taxes and risk in check. Also, consider having at least 2 years of income you will need in retirement, set aside in cash, and then when you retire, pull from that first. That way, if markets are down in the year you retire, you won't have to pull from your investments, giving them time to recover. All right, number 4, regret I see a lot is ignoring taxes. Ignoring taxes in retirement. You'd be surprised how many people that come into the office, newly retired, and they think, hey, now that I'm retired, I don't have to pay taxes anymore. Here's the dirty little secret about retirement. The IRS is still coming for you. So if you've got money in tax-deferred accounts like IRAs or 401ks, those required minimum distributions start at 73 or 75. Now that depends on the year you were born. And if all your retirement money is sitting in the wrong buckets, or that big same bucket of tax-deferred, those distributions can push you into a higher tax bracket. It could jack up your Medicare premiums and eat into your Social Security benefits. That's why I always say tax planning strategies is retirement planning. So start thinking about Roth conversions. Start thinking about your asset location and tax-efficient withdrawals long before RMDs kick in. Or you could owe way more than necessary. All right, and we get to number 5, regret in retirement, which is retiring from something, not to something. And this is the one I see people struggle with the most, and no one talks about it. Look, retirement isn't just a financial decision. It's an identity shift. Too many people retire because they're burned out, tired, or just ready to be done, but they haven't given any thought to what comes next. And that lack of purpose, it sneaks up on you. Now, most people I meet will say, oh no, I'm gonna travel. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But you won't be traveling every day or every week. So think about how you will fill your days because, hey, the first 6 months, they're going to be great. Golf, travel, sleeping in. Then the boredom sets in. And boredom is expensive. People start spending just to feel busy. So I always tell clients, don't just retire from something. Retire to something. Have a hobby, a mission, a part-time gig, volunteering, something that gets you out of bed in the morning. Look, you plan your finances. Don't forget to plan your life too. So here's the thing about retirement regrets. You rarely see them coming until it's too late. But with thoughtful, personal planning, you could avoid these regrets. Look, this isn't about being perfect. It's about making informed, intentional decisions that set you up for long-term success. Hey, thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, give it a like and consider subscribing to the channel. I've got more videos coming that can help you retire smarter and with fewer regrets. If you like what you're seeing so far, check out this next video. Subscribe to the channel. Lord willing, we'll see you next time.